gentlemen, I'm your host, Jeff Merrill. I'm ready to go tonight. Brushed my teeth with icy hot this morning. We're ready for it. That's right. Guys, did you see the thing that we did down at the 10 with Sound Running this last weekend? A fan-funded prize purse, huh? Yeah, we raised $10,000 in the pot for athletes to race for. It's a big shift in the sport. It gives fans the power to give to their favorite athletes and get them to run in the meets that they want to see. And the athletes are getting paid. I think it's pretty cool. What, $3,500 to the winner and $1,500 to second place? Let's keep adding to those prize purses. All right. Well, moving on. We've got a movie showing pretty soon, March 7th. And it's called A Time and a Place. And some of you may have seen it already. They've had one screening through Citius Mag, and that one sold out very quickly. There's going to be another one this weekend. But Portland Track is hosting a virtual screening on March 7th. The film takes a look inside the NAZ Elite's build-up to the 2020 Olympic Marathon Trials. It's a fantastic film, exceptional storytelling. Everyone should see it at least a dozen times, starting with March 7th, or your second time on March 7th, your third time, whatever it is. There's a link in the video description below, or you can go to watch.showandtell.film/watch/PDX-screening. But yeah, I would check the description and make sure that you can get in there. Tickets are $15, and a large portion of it will go to the Janus Youth programs here in Portland, helping youth who are homeless, have been victims of sex trafficking, and come from low-income households. So it's a very good cause that we're providing this for. Included following the screening is what we're calling the graveyard shift, a conversation between me and three of the stars of the film, Stephanie Rothstein-Bruce, Scott Smith, and that dirty, rotten scoundrel, Scott Fauble. You won't want to miss it. And tickets are limited, so act now. We got a great show tonight. Marc Scott and Elise Cranny will be joining us later. But first, what you've all been waiting for, rapid results. First, we go to the house that John McDonald built, and Tyson Chicken, Fayetteville, Arkansas, in the American Track League. Heather McLean and Shifra Claire Butner go 1-2 in the 800 meters. How do you feel about the race, Heather?
I'm really excited.
Heather takes number 1 on the U.S. yearly list, and her teammate Claire Butner, rolling like the hills of Ireland, sets a new national record for the Emerald Isle. Coming off the heels of Ellie Purrier's 2-mile American record, New Balance Boston is thundering on the boards. Allison Felix, 22.59 200 meters, indoor PR and world record for 35 plus. She's still the very best around, and JJ's crush. What about JJ's field crush? Well, that'll always be Reese Hoffa. Michael Cerrone returns. The former UTEP man's been laying low in El Paso, but the trigger finger's still hot. He came out guns blazing for a 1:45. Somebody call the marshal. Sheriff Craig Engels a little further down the list. He was out in 50 through the quarter, then ended up boxing fighting. Could be a part of the plan in Pete Julian's School of Racing. This lesson will serve him well outdoors. Moving on, Shamir Little smoked a 50.5 for the indoor 2-lapper, putting her third on the 2021 world list. It's a smoking fast time. And Marquise Dendy, leaping lizards. Another 26:10.5 jump to seal the deal. Cold-blooded on Twitter too, calling out the competition and clapping back at the haters. Check the sky, that's Dendy flying by. And now, to the Brickyard, the 10, hosted by Sound Running and broadcasted by your favorite neighborhood track program. Premium pacing through the first half by Vanessa Frazier and Courtney Frericks of the Red Lightning, rabbiting royalty out there. Everybody on the train, Kim Conley went through 5K faster than she ran on the same track for 5,000 meters in December. It's remarkable. In the end though, Carissa Schweitzer and Elise Cranny separated themselves, and people who think they know better just assume that Schweitzer, the historically more dominant runner over longer distances, and even the 1,500 meter I might add, would take the win. But that's the thing about this sport. You never really know, and can wind up walking away from the bookies with your pockets turned inside out. Elise Cranny just edges Schweitzer at the line, and both runners notched 3rd and 4th fastest times ever on the American list behind Molly Huddle and their coach, the great Shalane Flanagan. Cranny, a debut 10K, never even heard of the distance before. And you see the results there on the screen. And there the two of them are. That was a close finish. Very exciting. Eilish McColgan, she'd dip under 31 minutes and just miss her mother and coach's best mark of 30:57 by less than 2 seconds. So close. One might think that maybe mom coached her exactly into a 3:58 shape and no faster. We're a little suspicious there. Nah, that wouldn't happen. And the comeback queen, Emily Infeld, flexed her strength as she does time and time again, setting a new personal best of 31:08 after hip surgery a couple years ago, while Merrill Hall dips under the Olympic standard as well. On the men's side, Bowerman boys and chosen domestiques Evan Jager and Sean McGorty got the lads out to a smooth start, setting them in a groove of 65 second laps, all the way up to 8K before McGorty, the 13:11 man, stepped off and left it to the racing. Mark Scott jumped to the front. He injected some speed with a surge down the backstretch, letting the field know what kind of punch he's packing, maybe scaring Woody a little bit, maybe not. Fisher reeled him back to the group, and everyone had some decisions to make on what to do with their reserves and when to do it. In the end, Mad Mark Scott, his threat held up. Ferocious, angry, seething, furious, raging, fuming, boiling, spitting, mad. The madman from across the water takes it in 27:10. And you can tell everybody, this is Mark Scott. Terrible singing voice, sorry. Grant Fisher finishes on his heels in 27:11. And Wild Woody Kincaid kicks a bit too late to finish a close third in 27:12, rounding out to a sweep for the Red Lightning. 35-year-old Ben True, ladies and gentlemen, chops 26 seconds off a PR from 9 years ago. Are you serious? There are the results again up on the screen. Read them and weep. And Bowerman Rook Kieran Tuntavate sets 2 5K PRs and a 10K PR in the same race, going from 28:45 to 27:17. What in the world? Well, there you have it. Those are your rapid results. And there's a real East Coast, West Coast battle shaping up here with New Balance Boston making noise out east and Bowerman cutting tracks out west here. I think we need to see a showdown in the near future. I think we need a team DMR championship. That's what we need. And I'm looking at you, PBR, to make it happen. The PBR DMR. Winner gets the blue ribbon. And we all go home happy. Let's make it happen. The Atlanta Track Club, or the Atlanta Track League, their photos and video are provided by the Atlanta Track League and photographer Sean Price. Thank you very much for the use of those. And the 10 footage was obviously provided by Sound Running and us here as well. Also, what happened yesterday, in case you missed it, Grant Holloway, 7.29 60-meter hurdles. That's a world record, ladies and gentlemen. He now has, I think, 3 of the 4 fastest times ever, which is extremely impressive in all of our books. And Goodoff Sige continues her 2021 tear with an 8:22 3K. And that's very impressive as well. And, ladies and gentlemen, breaking news. Back to the Brickyard. We're back in the Brickyard on March 6th for another spicy lineup. But stay at home because traffic is still too bad to get out there. We've got a team brawl. No commercials, no mercy. Well, maybe some commercials. The Brooks Beasts are sponsoring a men's 1500, and it's loaded. We've got Josh Kerr in there, Josh Thompson, Matt Centrowitz. Throw a little Nick Willis in there, Johnny the Jet Gregoric, Ryan Hill. Are you serious? And the women's 1500, the Bowerman women are sponsoring it. You got Emily Lapari, Shannon Osika, Hannah Green, Marta Penn Freitas, Danny Jones, and of course some Bowerman athletes to be announced. Keep your ear to the ground for that. The 800s and the 5000s are loaded too, and entries keep coming in. Head to the Sound Running page and check it out for yourself. And add to the purse while you're there, please. We want to give these athletes what they deserve, and we want to throw a little money on the line to entice them to take some risks out there and see if they can grab the win. You have the power to create these matchups we all want to see. And you can put money in your favorite athletes' pockets, so please do that. Put some money down and bring them out. And again, we'll be down there broadcasting these showdowns live from the Pro Track Series YouTube channel to the viewing public. Don't miss it. That's right.
Armando Ortiz says Oregon would still smack that DMR against the coast-to-coast battle.
Oh, Armando Ortiz. Well, we'll have to see that play out. I don't know.
And then Alex Andre says we need more American Ekidens.
We do need more Ekidens out here. That's what I'm saying. We need more team brawls. That's what this sport needs. And we're going to be getting them a little bit on March 6th. But stay tuned. PBR DMR. I'm putting it out there. Let's make it happen. Also, best of luck to everyone competing down in Austin this weekend. Sidious Mag and the Trials of Miles Racing did a bang-up job getting everyone together down there, and we wish them the best of luck. We'll be checking results and obviously watching their live feed as well. Ladies and gentlemen, there's been some movement with recent results, so we've rerun the odds calculator again for the winner of the 1,500 meters at the U.S. Trials this summer. These are our predictions that were generated from Dr. Michael Andonian and his bang-up formula that he's got. So throw those up on the screen and let's have a look. We've got Centro and Shelby still at the top right now, but it's tight. Brazier's getting a lot of love from the odds makers, but we don't even know if he's going to run it yet. And in all likelihood, he probably won't, but this gives you an idea of his current dominance in the middle distance area. And then you see Ellie Purrier there too, sliding up on the list off her recent 2-mile record. Get into the comment section there and let us know where your Monopoly money's going. Check these lists. Where are you throwing down? Again, we're not saying this is what's going to happen. It's just what we think is most probable. Stranger things have happened, and they always do in this sport. But there you have it. Those are your odds. And we're ready to go here. Now, what you've all been waiting for. Sorry, I just burped. I had some pizza right before we jumped on this program, so I hope you can't see my teeth. Yeah, now to our guests. Special guests this evening. You know them from their victories last weekend at Sound Running's The 10. She ran the 3rd fastest 10K ever by an American, and he ran the 2nd fastest 10K ever by a Brit. Ladies and gentlemen, Elise Cranny and Marc Scott. Let's get them on here. Marc, how you doing?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can't hear you just yet. It appears we're having some issues with the audio. You there?
Hello.
Oh, gotcha. And Elise should be joining us shortly as well. Marc, how you doing?
Really well, thank you. How are you doing? Thanks for having me on.
Oh yeah, no problem. I'm doing well. We're freezing in the icebox in the garage. I hope you're warm where you are. Looks like you got the Bowerman crew neck on.
I certainly do, keeping me very warm.
Yeah. Well, congrats again on your 10K win. It's like New Year's. I'm not sure when we stopped saying it, but that was a fantastic race in the Brickyard for you and a great win.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, things went really well. Just had to follow the paces. They did a great job for us, and we finished it up.
Yeah, it was an excellent job by the Pacers out there, and that's something that's an interesting development, and that you guys have been working on throughout last summer, obviously. Teamwork in the Bowerman Track Club here. Marky, oh, there you are. Gotcha. You've got this interesting kind of strategy going.
I'm still here.
Yeah, I'm so glad. Where you've got Olympic medalists and world championships competitors pouring themselves out for their teammates in routine ways. Who manages that, and how did that strategy come about?
Well, it seems pretty fitting that Evan did a great job, but that 10K pace is actually his steeple pace. So it works really well in that sense. And Sean just is a metronome. He was so good. He's like it in practice, so Jerry knew he was really reliable.
Yeah. Oh, Elise, good. It looks like you're here now too. Fantastic. Welcome to the program.
Yes, sorry. Sorry for the
Yeah.
delay.
Oh, no worries. Hey, you probably had to finish your dinner or something. That's more important. If you can
Nothing
see
more
the
important
screen
than
right now, so I
Tracklandia.
can turn this way and talk to Elise, and then I can turn this way and talk to Mark here on the split screen. It's a great little setup we have going. We were just talking to Mark here before you joined about the amazing teamwork that now exists in the Bowerman Track Club, and how it's crazy that you have these rabbits who are your teammates who are World Championships medalists and Olympic medalists, and this is a new development in the world of distance running and track in general. And what's it like to have such a competitive group and be so selfless and just and give up, just say, hey, I'm going to play to whoever has the hot hand today, and I'm going to take a back seat with my dreams.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, I was talking to Courtney the other day, and we were saying it's kind of crazy that the group has gotten so big now that we can basically like switch off pacing one another for different events. So it's definitely really special to be able to have that. And like you said, super selfless. I mean, for Courtney and Vanessa to, forgo racing themselves and pace us and set us up for a fast race.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to watch, to see. It's that type of orchestration is usually just left for other sports, but you guys are revolutionary in bringing that kind of organization, and it seems like almost like a lead out pace train in a cycling race or something. I think it'd be kind of interesting to see competing pace trains of different teams, but that might mess things up a little bit.
That would be pretty cool though, like a bunch of different teams. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but right now you're sitting on top, Bowerman Track Club, so there'd need to be other teams out there that could compete with you. But off of your races, so what was it like the next day cruising around LA after those victories?
Cruising around. We had an early flight to catch, so there was not much sleep after the race, and then straight back to Portland. So we didn't get a lot of cruising around LA, put it that way.
Is that the same for you, Elise?
I had a little bit of a later flight, so I guess I got a little more cruising around. One more run along the beach before we were back in the rain, but yeah.
Yeah, Elise, so for you, I mean, when you're capable of something, it can be almost painful just before it happens, because you know that it's inside of you, and you just want it to happen already. And then when it finally does, you're just able to relish it the next day and enjoy yourself, especially on the beach in Southern California. So how was that feeling afterwards? Was there a big relief after this result?
Yeah, I would say there's a relief. I think it's a type of thing where, Jerry was like, okay, like you're going to be good at the 10K, like we need to get you in a race. But I think especially when like having not done the distance before, there's even kind of a little bit more of that of like, I'm not really sure exactly when I'm going to feel like I hit a wall in the race or when like it's going to catch up with me, because I think obviously the 5K to the 10K is a big jump, it's not even just going from like the 15 to the 5, like you're completely doubling the race distance. So I think with a lot more uncertainty, it was definitely nice to like get in there and then finish and have a little bit of that relief of like, okay, I know a little bit more what to expect next time.
Yeah, I remember Centro complaining last year after the hunt that like, oh, the 5K is like over 3 times the distance of my event, like the 1500. And a lot of people would have pegged you as a 1500 runner, and you jumped all the way up to the 10K. We were saying in the results, you probably never even heard of the race before.
Yeah, honestly, I was doing the same thing before the race. I was thinking about how many 1500s I would be running to make it a 10K, and I didn't really like that strategy. It seemed like too many, so I tried to put that out of my mind.
Yeah, just go to sleep through those first laps, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, but Bowerman, I mean, you guys, you're a dynasty now. It's like the New England Patriots recently, up until the Buccaneers, obviously. You're like the '90s Bulls, and whatever Premier League reference Mark wants to throw in there, I have no idea what that's all about. But before joining the team, what was your perception of the Bowerman Track Club? Mark, let's go to you first. Like, what was your knowledge of the team, and what regard did you hold it in?
Yeah, obviously held it in a very high regard. I didn't overly analyze a lot of the professional running scene when I was in college, just because I didn't really know at the point where I could go in my career. So I was keeping a lot of doors open, and just Bowerman Track Club was always the dream. Just because it held itself to such high standards, and the results obviously do the speaking for themselves.
Absolutely. Yeah, I would agree with that. And Elise, you grew up around the sport. I know your parents were athletes, and obviously the running community in Colorado is strong. I can hear your thick Colorado accent on this. It's probably the thickest accent we have on the program right now. But yeah, what was your perception of the team, and how you held it?
Yeah, I mean, similar to Mark, I would say definitely held it in really high regard. And I think as I was in college, I think I started to just be a little bit more exposed to the professional running world. So I think kind of the biggest like standout moment was just seeing the dominance of BTC at the 2016 trials. Like, I think just 6 of them or all of them like making the team, and just seeing people from BTC in every event make the Olympic team. I think that's when it was really like, wow. I mean, similar to Mark just said, like the standard is so high, and you go in there and get it done and do it as a group. So I think, yeah, that's something that really stands out to me when I think of BTC.
And then for you to be riding that train too, and having the machine, the BTC machine, work for you last Saturday, that had to be a dream come true.
Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely fun to I mean, it's interesting too to think of like, okay, these are people that you've like looked up to, for a really long time in the sport, and then you join it, and it's like you kind of have to switch from being people that you like really look up to people that you're now like working out with and racing with and teammates with. So it's definitely fun to now be a part of it, and then like I said, like have Courtney and Vanessa pacing, and be running with Emily and Merrill, like people that have been here for a lot of years.
Yeah, I imagine that you may have had an Emily Infeld or Marielle Hall poster on your wall growing up in your high school days, maybe. Mark, maybe you as well.
For sure.
Maybe you had an Emily Infeld poster on your wall.
Yeah, the 2 of them, exactly.
Nice. Well, yeah, I mean, it's like the sport is changing, and a lot of new teams are coming in too, and teams are becoming much more of a focus in the sport. So individual wins matter, but team wins do as well. Is it important to you to see Bowerman athletes winning things, or how does that feel? Or is it like, oh yeah, like a Bowerman athlete won that, we won that race?
Yeah, for me, we knew there was a few other guys in the race at the weekend, for example, and it's just we want that red jersey to cross the line first. It doesn't necessarily matter on the day who it is. We want to win and gather all the top spots just as a unit. So it's really good that we were able to do that and show our dominance against these other teams just at the 10 as one example.
Yeah. And Elise, what about you?
Yeah, I think similarly, it's also just been cool to see, groups grow in the running world. I think that's something that's just like really special about professional running right now. I think is something that wasn't always like as prevalent as it is now. And I think it's really fun to be able to, graduate from college and kind of have more of that team feel and still be able to compete against other teams. So hopefully, like you're saying, hopefully some more relays in the future. So I feel like that's a really fun part of college that, you know, you don't get once you graduate. But I think when you start putting lots of strong teams together, like that could be a fun meet to have at one point for sure.
Yeah, relays, that's where it's at. That's where the fun is. Um, we've got a question on the screen here. So from Alex Andre, how are group workouts tailored with Jerry to so much success when such a wide span of runners are under his direction? Oh, it's an interesting one. What do you guys
Ooh,
think?
that's a good question. I don't know, Mark, what you would say, but I would say he's always talking about how strength is speed, and he's a big strength guy. So I think he thinks that no matter what event you do, you can always benefit from more strength work. So I think in a lot of ways, on those days, he keeps us all together. And then, you know, when you have more specific days tailored toward your certain race, he'll split us into groups. But he's definitely a strength guy, so tries to keep us together and all of that. And I think thinks everyone can always gain more strength.
Yeah, that's what I've
Yeah.
heard.
Yeah, just for me as well, it seems it's one of those like strength in numbers. We might get to the track one day and we have, I don't know, let's say mile repeats. And it could be on the day you only have to lead one single rep, and that just kind of shows one, how many guys and girls we've got on the team now, but just the trust in one another to hit the certain paces and be able just to deliver every workout in and out. It just makes it so much more easier, and the group just feeds off one another. And I think that strength in numbers really does help us all.
Yeah, and these altitude camps that you guys go to for 6 weeks or 8 weeks or however long it is at a time, they become the stuff of legend. It seems like each one of them is a new chapter in brutality when you come back, and it seems like there are always a couple athletes that come out and you hear rumors about them. And it's like, oh, so and so's ready to go, but it's never the same athletes that. And this time, I mean, we're looking at them. But like these kinds of camps, it's like these old summer college football camps that you would hear about, the grueling like summer days out there. I think Junction Boys was what they used to call the Texas A&M summer camp, and those were deadly. So what are these as difficult and like backbreaking as they sound? What's it like up there?
Oh, I
Who
can
wants
go.
to take that one?
I mean,
Are you guys tight-lipped? You
I
don't
think
want Jerry to say anything?
you can't share a thing. Yeah, I don't know. I think that I almost feel like each camp, Jerry just keeps, I mean, each year too, but like each camp, he keeps raising the bar. So I think, you know, we start doing workouts that you're like, wow, I didn't even know that was possible for Jerry to give the type of workout. You know, now he's combining like a bunch of different workouts into one. So, you know, when you make it out the other side of altitude, you've been through some stuff.
Do you feel like a changed man, Mark?
Yeah, every single camp, like we said, just 7 weeks in Flagstaff just recently, and people are getting nervous waiting to hear the workouts. That's how like brutal it gets sometimes. So yeah, they really do bring us on a lot, and it's very hard in the moment. But looking back, it's super glad to put it all behind you and get the race results like Elise and I have recently. But yeah, there's some pretty scary times, and often weeks and months down the line after camp, there's always stories on runs which we talk about from camp, which just makes us look back on it and think what a great time we had and how much pain we were in.
How did this latest installment stack up on the all-time list?
Well, like Elise said, they seem to be just getting crazier and crazier every single time. Who knows where the breaking point will be? But I've heard some stories of the past. But I think we're getting pretty close to that limit at the minute.
Nice, just riding that line. I like it. Elise, is there a song or a movie or a show from this latest altitude camp that you'll always, like when you hear that or see it, you'll be like, oh, it'll take you right back to Flagstaff. Maybe it'll jar you a little bit because it'll call up some memories.
Oh man. Maybe Save Your Tears by The Weekend. I feel like that was a song of altitude camp, so I'm gonna have
That
to go with
sounds
that
appropriate.
one. Yeah, it's fitting too. Looking back, it was just a good jam. But honestly, it's fitting. Save your tears for any sort of workout or grueling session that Jerry gives. So it's fitting.
Yeah, Mark, is that your memory too? Something that'll trigger you back?
It wasn't the song, but it does sound very fitting. Just the name. A song what was played a lot in our household was "My Head and My Heart," so that also could be pretty relatable.
Is that a band? Or is that the song?
It's not. That's the name of the song. That's the name of the song, but it was played quite often. Not necessarily because of any relatable lyrics, but it just seems, looking back, it worked pretty well for Flagstaff camp.
I'm gonna need to look that up, and I know that I'm gonna get a lot of crap too in the comments section for not knowing, or maybe I'll know it when I hear it. I probably will. It's just that I don't know the
We'll
title.
see about that. I'm not too sure, but
Yeah, Mark, you wanna
no, we're not doing that. I don't
Okay.
even know the lyrics, honestly. At least
mean,
don't
I've
do that
sung.
to me.
Oh yeah, well I've sung on the show before. I'll do it again.
You were singing
Mark,
earlier on the show.
I was, yeah. Um, oh, Flotron. Yeah, Michael Flotron has a question here. By how much would you beat Mark in 1,500 meters here? Let's
Oh, I wish I could say that I would beat him, but he would definitely beat me.
Yeah. What a question there. Thank you for that, Flotron. Mark, coming from the UK, I don't know if our viewers picked that up or not, but coming from the UK, there's a rich and storied track history out there, and I'm curious about who were your heroes growing up in the sport.
Yeah, not so much any heroes from the UK, honestly. I wasn't like a typical track running nerd as such. I just kind of did it for my own enjoyment and didn't really pay attention to a lot of the greats who I kind of wished I did now looking back. So I don't have an idol as such from the UK. I was a big fan of Kenenisa Bekele. He was the one I would look up to and try and aspire to be like.
Yeah, man, I remember watching him well. '04, and I wanted a back kick that high. How about
Everyone does. Everyone does.
yeah, the foot is level with the ground there, like the underside of the foot. He gets his heel right up there to the butt cheek. Let's see, were you I mean, not being as much of a track fan though, were you a co or an Ovet guy? Are you there? Mark?
You keep going in and out. Was
Oh
I a
no.
co or an Orvet guy? Was that the question?
Yeah.
Mm, that's a hard choice. Don't really have a favorite out of the two, but I'm more of a Steve Cram type of guy.
Oh, I thought you were gonna throw that in there. Yeah.
Yeah, just more of a. He was from the northeast, similar to where I'm from, so we've got some ties there, and we're in pretty regular communication. So I'm going to give him a nod over the other two.
Nice. Yeah, I was doing some thinking earlier, and I was thinking if you're a co person, you're usually a Beatles fan, and if you're an Ovet guy, you're usually a Stones, Rolling Stones fan. So I don't know where Steve Cram falls in there. Maybe Wham. Is that
Fits.
uh
That'll do. But if I was going to pick out the two, then I'll go the Stones. So I guess I'm more vet.
Nice. Yeah, you got a little bit of edge to you. And what band do you think represents
Exactly.
you the best? I know we've been throwing the nickname out there, Madman from Across the Water, which is a reference to Elton John. But do you think could you see yourself wearing some sunglasses and feathers?
Maybe leave the feathers behind, but the sunglasses might work.
Nice.
Hard though to pick a band who maybe I would reference to.
Yeah. Let's go with maybe like the Sex Pistols or something, or the Clash, something like that. Nice punk rock band.
Okay, I'll leave it for you to decide, since I gather you made up the nickname, right? Which I am a big fan of, by the way.
Mad Mark, good. I was gonna ask you if you're a fan of that, because I know, like, obviously you're a gentleman off the track, but there's something about your demeanor on the track where you look angry, and your brow's furrowed a little bit, and you're Mad Mark out there. Yeah, I don't want to mess with you.
I like it. We'll keep it going.
Yeah, Elise, did you have a nickname? Do you have a nickname on the team, or did you have one growing up?
The only nickname I can think that I have is Elit. Like,
A
yeah,
what?
that's what, like Elit instead of Elise.
Oh.
Like lit, you know? Like
Oh, yeah, I got it. Yeah. Yeah, one of those new age pop culture
Yeah.
references. I got that. I'm right on top of it. Cool. Elit. I like that.
Yep.
Yeah. And then who are some of your heroes growing up in the sport?
I'd say I think when I was a lot younger, my parents were pretty involved in like triathlon and Ironmans. I would say a lot of people that I looked up to were like people that I saw in Ironmans, like, you know, after 16, 17-hour day. But in track, I would probably say Shalane and Jenny Simpson. And I think really I would say growing up, just like the Colorado team in general, I think, you know, like Jenny, Emma, Kara when she was there, like Sarah Vaughn. I think my dad worked at CU for a bit, and so I think just kind of following the distance running dynasty there, growing up was something that was super inspiring.
Yeah, so many great runners coming out of there, and then you ended up going to Stanford.
I know.
Oh, we got another question here on the screen. It says, Elise, maybe it's not a question. Elise, thank you for being the role model for my teenage daughter and many young women. We love you. Stay strong.
Wow, very sweet, very sweet.
Yeah, nice message there. I imagine you're getting a lot of those lately. And you as well, Mark, of course. You're a great role model,
Yeah.
for me especially. I could learn to be more polite. But yeah, we don't want to keep you too much longer here. We know that it's getting to be past your bedtime, and you probably have workouts tomorrow. But any goals for this upcoming season?
Yeah, I can go. For me, obviously, it's a big year for all of us on BTC. Trying to get as many guys and girls qualified for the Olympics as possible. But individually, my focus is going to be the 5K and 10K this year. And I'm going to hope to double up at the Olympic Games. So the goal would be obviously to make the final in the 5, and the 10K is a straight final. So make the finals, and then see how high we can place in those.
Yeah, and we know that you're gunning for sub 27 at some point in the future, in that knighthood position, so coveted.
Yes, sir. There's also sub 13 going for that as well. So time will tell.
Oh, you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. This is a hot take coming straight from Tracklandia. Gunning for barriers, nice. And Elise, how about you? What are the goals this year? You got a lot of opportunities open to you now.
Yeah, I mean, I think the most immediate goal is going to go back to the 15 and try to get Olympic standard there. So I think that's my initial focus. Got to get back to the favorite event, you know.
Oh, the all-time favorite. Yeah, back to the roots. And and where are the upcoming races happening? Are you able to say that at this point, or are you keeping that under the hat?
I would like to race a 1500 soon, but I think continuing to see over the next couple of days just how we come off the 10. And as we do, you know, maybe I think we have a workout tomorrow, so see how we're feeling after that.
All right. Marc, I know that you said that you'd like to come back or go back down to LA and race that 5K on March 6th. Is that still in the cards?
Yeah, it's just like Elise said though. We'll see how we feel tomorrow during the workout, and then I think we'll make a decision. A lot of things are always last minute with Jerry and the Bauman Track Club, so we could literally decide a couple of days before if we want to race, and if we get the go ahead, then we'll probably make it happen. So, but that would be the opportunity if things feel good tomorrow, maybe. So, yeah.
Hey, that's the luxury of being on top. You can make those late decisions like that. Take it day by day. Well, great performances again. Yeah. Great performances again. I mean, they are out of this world. And are you ready for all the hype? You guys have a target on your back now, and there are a lot of people coming to get you. You ready for it? All right. Sounds like you're ready.
I was waiting for Elise right there, but yes, we're both ready.
Nice. Good. I'm glad to hear it. And all right. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure having you both on the show, and I'm sure we'll do it many times again. We're going to send you some framed photos of your appearances on the show here, so be on the lookout for those. And it's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks for coming, and we hope to see you again soon.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Hey, we'll hope to see them back down in LA March 6th, or on a track near you possibly. But that's our show, ladies and gentlemen. Head to the websites below you in the description. Remember, you want to purchase a ticket to a time and a place, and that'll be on March 7th. You can't miss that. It's an amazing film, and you're going to need to see it as soon as possible, and then many times in the future. And then also add to that purse. Add 6. We just talked to the two winners of the 10K, and they received a nice payday for their efforts down at the Brickyard, and we want to give that same benefit to the athletes going forward. So hit those websites, and we'll be right back here in a couple weeks. We'll see you again soon. That's our show. Good night, everybody. Have a great night.
Tracklandia.